Kevin, I'm not gonna lie, Bubba, we're pretty good friends, but I didn't know you could play.
Oh, I don't. I just, the shirt.
Leah Remini and Kevin James have had one of the most effortless and iconic partnerships in television history, but behind that chemistry was a tension most fans never saw. Behind the laughter on The King of Queens were real fights, real pressure, and one controversial demand tied to the Church of Scientology that could have ended everything between them. But it didn't end there. Years later, Leah made a shocking confession that left fans stunned. She revealed that working with Kevin James may have quietly ruined her future projects. The connection between Leah and Kevin. For 9 seasons and 207 episodes, Leah Remini and Kevin James played one of the most believable married couples in television history. Their chemistry on The King of Queens felt effortless, as if they had known each other for years before the cameras ever started rolling. Audiences laughed at their arguments and rooted for their reconciliations because the connection between them seemed genuine. But in reality, most fans never realized that this connection almost did not happen at all. And the reason why has everything to do with the way they met, the fights they had, and the love that somehow survived both. Leah came in for a table read for The King of Queens, but there was a problem. She was already committed to another show at the time, and the schedule simply did not work. She wanted the part, but she could not take it. Then something unexpected happened. Her other show got canceled, and that cancellation freed her up to be cast as Carrie Heffernan. When she went in to meet Kevin, the very first thing he said to her was a joke about her unemployment. He asked if he was interrupting her while she was busy collecting unemployment. It was a bold and funny opening line, and Leah laughed within the first 2 seconds of meeting him. She later said she did not even care what the script was because she just loved this guy so much. She said yes to the role based entirely on his personality. From that point on, she was hooked. There was something in his eyes that was indescribable, she said. Leah fell in love with Kevin. Not romantic love, but the kind of love that makes working together effortless. The kind of love that makes you want to show up every day and make the other person look good. Throughout the show's run on CBS, Leah played Carrie Heffernan, the beleaguered wife of Kevin's character Doug. She was the sensible one who kept him in line, and he was the lovable slob who ate too much and watched too much television. Their dynamic worked because both actors understood something fundamental about marriage. It is not always easy, it is not always romantic, and sometimes it is 2 people yelling at each other in a living room and then laughing about it 5 minutes later. Behind the scenes, both stars constantly feared the cancellation of the show. Leah said every time they came out for introductions to the live studio audience, they would say to each other that one day they would not be looking at those rafters. They never felt comfortable enough to assume their success was permanent, and that anxiety kept them grounded. It also kept them fighting. Leah has admitted that she and Kevin had intense arguments on set, but she explained in interviews that anyone who is together that amount of time is going to fight. The reason they fought was because they loved each other. She once pointed out that if you do not care about somebody, you do not even bother to fight with them. Those off-screen fights would sometimes make on-screen kissing scenes very awkward because they would have to act romantic while still being angry at each other from an argument that had happened 20 minutes earlier. Despite the fights, Kevin was generous with Leah in ways that male leads rarely are. He consistently told writers to give Leah more stuff, to give her more laughs, and to give her the funny lines. In Leah's memoir, Troublemaker: Surviving Hollywood and Scientology, she wrote that Kevin always made scripts more comical and actively pushed writers to give her better material. That kind of generosity is rare in Hollywood, where leading men often protect their own jokes at the expense of their co-stars. Kevin did the opposite because he knew the show worked best when both of them were at the top of their game. When The King of Queens ended, it was Kevin's decision. His film career was taking off, and he did not want the show to trickle off with low ratings. Leah understood his position, and looking back, she said he was right. But she also told BuzzFeed that she was still mourning that loss. She said she cannot really watch the reruns because she still feels the show in her bones. The partnership that had defined nearly a decade of her life was over. And what came next for Leah was not another sitcom. It was a very public break from an organization that had controlled her life since childhood, and that break would test every friendship she had ever made, including the one with Kevin James. Leah Remini's affiliation with Scientology. Before Leah Remini was a household name, before the King of Queens made her a star, she was a 9-year-old girl caught in the middle of her parents' divorce. Her mother, already struggling with the collapse of the marriage, found solace in the Church of Scientology. She became deeply involved, and soon after, she brought Leah and her sister into the church as well. It was not a choice Leah made for herself. She was just a child who followed her mother, but that decision would shape the next 30 years of her life. Shortly after the divorce, the family moved from New York to Florida, where her mother enrolled her and her sister into the Sea Org, the full-time religious order of the church. The Sea Org is not a casual commitment. It demands complete dedication, long hours, and strict obedience to church leadership. As part of joining, Leah was required to sign a billion-year contract. That is not a typo. The contract is literally for 1 billion years, based on the Scientology belief in reincarnation and the idea that members owe their loyalty across multiple lifetimes. Leah remained an active, practicing Scientologist for approximately 30 years, from age 9 until her departure in 2013. After Florida, she continued practicing Scientology after relocating to Los Angeles for her acting career. The church was not just a part of her life. It was her life. It dictated who she could talk to, what she could read, and how she could think. For 3 decades, she followed the rules without question. But the questions eventually came, and they started at a wedding. In 2006, Leah was invited to Tom Cruise's and Katie Holmes's wedding. It was a high-profile event, and the church saw an opportunity. Church officials reportedly asked Leah to bring her famous friends, Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony, as her guests. The request seemed innocent enough at first, but the church's real agenda soon became clear. They allegedly wanted to recruit Jennifer Lopez. Officials reportedly attempted to separate Leah from Lopez throughout the event, having them travel in separate cars and limiting their interaction. Leah later claimed she watched as the church manipulated the guest list, the seating arrangements, and the social dynamics, all for the purpose of landing a celebrity recruit. That alone troubled her. But there was something else that bothered her even more. David Miscavige, the head of the Church of Scientology, was serving as Tom Cruise's best man at the wedding. He attended without his wife, Shelley Miscavige. Leah found that strange. Shelley had not been seen publicly for years, and no one seemed to know where she was or why she was not by her husband's side at such a major event. The combination of the Jennifer Lopez manipulation and the absence of Shelley Miscavige struck Leah as strange and unacceptable behavior. She did not say anything at the time, but the doubts were planted. When Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes divorced several years later, those doubts resurfaced with force. Leah began doing something that was explicitly forbidden for active Scientologists. She started reading online criticism of the church. She read stories about families being torn apart by church policies. She read allegations against top leaders, including David Miscavige. She was heartbroken by what she discovered. The organization she had dedicated her entire life to, the church she had defended and promoted and given 30 years of loyalty, was not what she had been taught it was. The questions started small. She began asking about the practice of forcing members to disconnect from suppressive persons, a term used to describe people who had been declared enemies of the church. She asked about the whereabouts and safety of Shelley Miscavige, who still had not been seen publicly. She wanted answers, but what she got instead was interrogation. Sources say Leah was subjected to official interrogations by church leadership for asking these questions. The church does not tolerate doubt. It does not tolerate questioning. And it certainly does not tolerate a high-profile member like Leah Remini publicly wondering where the wife of the church's leader had gone. In 2013, Leah went public with her separation from the Church of Scientology. She told People magazine that she believed people should be able to question things, and she was not about to shut up. Sources said she hoped that people who had waited for fear of retaliation would find comfort in her departure, and that her decision would encourage others to leave. It was a brave statement, but it came with consequences. After leaving, she was declared a suppressive person by the church. That designation means all Scientologists must disconnect from her immediately. The people she had considered friends for decades, the members she had laughed with and worked with and trusted, were suddenly forbidden from speaking to her. Longtime church members refused to even question church practices or support her. A source said that Leah's friends had not given her the decency to even question alleged practices of maltreating staff. She lost her community overnight. But support came from unexpected places. Paul Haggis, the Oscar-winning director of Crash, had also been a Scientologist and had also been declared a suppressive person after leaving. He came to Leah's defense publicly, writing an open letter supporting her. It was a small comfort in the midst of a devastating loss. Leah did not simply walk away and disappear. She fought back. She co-hosted the series Scientology and the Aftermath with Mike Rinder, a former high-level church spokesperson who also left. The show ran for 3 seasons plus a 2-hour special and won an Emmy Award. Leah told The Hollywood Reporter that she always thought it would be 6 or 8 episodes, and that would be enough for the FBI, local police, and the IRS to start doing something about the church, or, at the very least, revoke their tax exemptions. The show became something much bigger than she had anticipated, and her mission expanded. She now wants to focus on protecting children inside Scientology, saying they need a voice that their Scientology parents are not providing. The church has denied all of her claims. They released a lengthy statement calling her accusations false and driven by a desire for profit or publicity. But Leah has not backed down. She has written a memoir, produced a docuseries, and spoken out repeatedly about the maltreatment she witnessed and experienced. Throughout her time in the church, she was expected to recruit, and one of the people the church wanted most was Kevin James. The pressure to bring him in would test their friendship in ways that neither of them had anticipated. The pressure to recruit Kevin James. Being a Scientologist while working in Hollywood came with expectations that most people outside the church do not understand. It was not enough to simply believe and practice in private. Members were expected to recruit, and the more famous the target, the greater the pressure. For Leah Remini, the most valuable target in her orbit was Kevin James. He was the star of a hit television show, well-liked and trusted by audiences. The church wanted him badly, and for 9 years they told Leah to bring him in. Church officials repeatedly demanded that Leah recruit Kevin James. They asked her why he was not in the church and why she had not promoted Scientology to him. In their view, if you work closely with someone for an extended period, especially someone high profile, you are expected to recruit them. It was not a suggestion. It was an order. And Leah's consistent response was the same every time. She told them he was Catholic. He did not want anything to do with it. That answer was never enough for the church. The pressure did not stop at simple requests. Church officials wanted Leah to investigate Kevin's personal life to find exploitable vulnerabilities. They specifically asked her to find out whether he had a failed purpose or relationship problems that they could use to manipulate him into joining. The church viewed Kevin James as a high-value target due to his rising fame. Recruiting him would have been a major win for Scientology's Hollywood Bureau. They were willing to use any weakness they could find to make it happen. Kevin was aware of Leah's Scientology affiliation. He knew what she believed, and he knew what the church expected of its members. At some point during their time working together, he told her directly not to try to get him in with her Tom Cruise glare. He was referencing the intense, famous stare associated with high-level Scientologists like Cruise, a look that had become almost mythical in Hollywood circles. Kevin was making it clear that he knew the tactics and he was not interested. He was loyal to his own religion, and Leah has stated that there was no way in. Despite the repeated orders from church officials, Leah says she never once attempted to convert Kevin. She did not feel right about doing it. She said she never felt right about telling somebody that they were lost and that they needed Scientology. That moral stance put her in direct opposition to the church's demands. Over the 9-year run of the King of Queens, she was told again and again to recruit him, and every single time she refused. Normally, failure to recruit a high-profile colleague would result in what the church calls ethics handlings, which is their term for punishment or disciplinary action. Members who disobey orders can face interrogations, menial labor, or even public humiliation. But in Leah's case, the church eventually let it go after a while. The most likely reason is that Leah was herself a valuable celebrity member. Punishing her too harshly could have driven her away, and the church was not willing to lose her. The church has denied Leah's claims about the pressure to recruit Kevin. They have also alleged that Leah previously told them Kevin James was a bully, a claim she vehemently denies. There is no public evidence to support the church's version of events, and Leah has consistently maintained that she never spoke negatively about Kevin to church officials. When Leah left Scientology in 2013, she expected to lose many of her friendships. What she did not expect was who stayed. Kevin reached out to her and said he was proud of her and that if she needed anything, he was there. It was a simple message, but it meant everything to someone who had just been cut off from an entire community. Leah has stated that Kevin James is among the very few celebrities left in her inner circle after her departure from the church. While so many others disappeared, he remained. The friendship survived Scientology. It survived the pressure to recruit. It also survived the church's demands and Leah's refusal to comply. But the damage from those years was not limited to her relationships or her reputation. There was something else that had nothing to do with the church at all. After The King of Queens ended, Leah discovered that working with Kevin James had ruined her for everyone else. Their chemistry was so natural, so effortless, that no other co-star could measure up. And that, she says, cost her work. Why Leah said Kevin ruined her future projects. For any actor, finding a scene partner who feels like home is rare. Most spend their entire careers searching for that kind of chemistry, that effortless back and forth that makes the audience forget they are watching a performance. Leah Remini found it with Kevin James. And in a June 2025 interview with Us Weekly, she made a confession that surprised a lot of people. She said that working with Kevin James ruined her for future projects. She explained that she loved working with him so much and that he was the perfect leading man for her. It was not a complaint. It was an acknowledgement that what they had was so special that nothing else could compare. In her 2015 memoir, Troublemaker: Surviving Hollywood and Scientology, Leah wrote that despite working with other leading men on other shows, she has never found anyone who could compare favorably to Kevin. She attributed their chemistry to a profound sense of safety that she felt every time they worked together. When she was on set with him, she knew she could try anything, say anything, do anything, and he would catch her. He would make her look good. He would push her to be funnier. That kind of trust does not come easily, and once you have experienced it, everything else feels a little bit like settling. The proof of their chemistry was never more evident than what happened with Kevin Can Wait. Kevin James starred in the CBS comedy as a retired police officer. In the first season, his character was married to Donna, played by Erin Hayes. The show performed well in the ratings. Season 1 ranked as the #1 new comedy in total viewers, averaging more than 9 million people per episode. But viewers and critics noticed something. The chemistry between James and Hayes was not quite there. It was not bad, but it was not electric either. Something was missing. Leah made a cameo appearance in the Season 1 finale as Vanessa Calucci, a fellow officer. The episode aired in May 2017, and the reaction from audiences was immediate and undeniable. The chemistry between Leah and Kevin was so strong that viewers could feel it through the screen. They fell back into their old rhythm as if no time had passed at all. The banter was sharp. The timing was perfect. And CBS made a decision that would become one of the most talked about casting changes in recent television history. Between seasons, the show killed off Erin Hayes' character, Donna. It happened off-screen. Viewers were told that she had died, and Season 2 picked up 10 months later with Kevin's character adjusting to life as a widower. Leah Remini was brought on as a series regular for all 24 episodes of Season 2, playing Kevin's new partner and former undercover colleague. The decision was controversial. Some fans criticized the show for how it handled the transition, feeling that Hayes had been treated unfairly. But for Leah, it was a second chance she never expected to receive. She posted a photo from her first week on the Kevin Can Wait set in August 2017 with a caption expressing her gratitude. She said it had been an amazing first week and that she was so blessed to have her family with her. She later wrote that you do not always get a second chance at something that meant so much to you, and she did, and she was so grateful for it. She told the New York Daily News in 2017 that it could have been next year, 10 years from now, or 10 years earlier. She said she would have taken any opportunity to work with Kevin again. The timing did not matter. What mattered was the chance to stand across from him and do what they did best. Kevin felt the same way. He said there was nobody he had worked with or would ever work with that achieved what Leah had achieved. He now refers to her as family. He revealed that they just have this relationship and this connection. He even described it as comfort and constant laughter. That is a rare thing in Hollywood, where partnerships are often transactional and relationships end when the cameras stop rolling. Kevin Can Wait was canceled by CBS after season 2 ended in 2018. The ratings had held up reasonably well, but some critics believe that the controversy surrounding the casting change and the show's creative direction may have played a role in its demise. For Leah, the experience was bittersweet. She had gotten her second chance. She had worked with Kevin again, but the show ended, and she was left once more with the question of what came next. The challenge she has faced since the King of Queens is not about talent. She has plenty of that. The challenge is that every other leading man she works with is measured against Kevin James, and none of them have measured up. She has said this openly, not as a criticism of the actors she has worked with, but as a testament to how good Kevin made her look. He pushed writers to give her better lines. He stepped back so she could shine. He created an environment where she felt safe enough to take risks. That is a rare gift, and once you have had it, everything else feels like a step down. Their chemistry survived 2 television shows, a controversial casting change, and the pressures of Hollywood. But the question that fans really want answered is whether their friendship has survived everything else. Leah has been open about the losses she suffered after leaving Scientology. Kevin was one of the few who stayed. Where do they stand today, and what does Leah say about the man who ruined her for every other co-star? Where Leah and Kevin stand today. Most Hollywood partnerships do not last. The show ends, the cast scatters, and the people who once spent every day together become acquaintances who exchange holiday cards at best. That is not what happened with Leah Remini and Kevin James. More than a decade after The King of Queens went off the air, and years after Kevin Can Wait was canceled, their friendship remains not only intact but strong. As of 2025, Leah confirmed that they talk all the time. Kevin echoes this, saying they speak constantly. It is not the kind of relationship that fades when the cameras stop rolling. It is the kind that endures because it was built on something real. One of the reasons a full King of Queens reboot is unlikely has nothing to do with any conflict between the 2 stars. It has to do with Jerry Stiller, who played Arthur Spooner, Doug's father on the show. Stiller passed away in 2020 at the age of 92. He was a beloved presence on set, a man who would stay even after his scenes finished filming just to watch and support the rest of the cast. Leah has said that a reboot would be impossible for her without a meaningful way to honor him. She said it would be hard to say yes without doing something meaningful to acknowledge what he meant to the show and to all of them. Kevin echoed that sentiment after Stiller's death, noting that a lot of people see Stiller as the cranky old man yelling and screaming, but that was the opposite of who he really was. He called him a great man. Unlike so many Hollywood co-stars who eventually turn on each other, there is no feud between Leah and Kevin. There is no hidden resentment, no professional jealousy, no buried story waiting to surface in a tell-all memoir. Both have publicly stated that their 207-episode run together created a bond that neither has found with any other co-star. That is a remarkable thing to say in an industry where partnerships are often measured in seasons and forgotten in years. The core truth of their relationship is this: Leah chose her friendship with Kevin over the demands of her religion. When church officials told her to recruit him, she refused. When they asked her to find weaknesses in his personal life, she declined. When they pressured her to exploit his vulnerabilities, she said no. That decision contributed to her being declared a suppressive person by the Church of Scientology, a designation that cut her off from almost everyone she had known for 3 decades. Kevin, in return, has remained one of her most vocal and consistent supporters. When she left the church in 2013, he reached out and told her he was proud of her. He told her that if she needed anything, he was there. He meant it. Their friendship is not complicated. It is not dramatic. It is simply 2 people who worked together, fought together, laughed together, and decided that what they had was worth holding on to. In an industry where relationships are often transactional and loyalty is rare, that is something worth noting. Leah Remini and Kevin James are not just former co-stars, they are family. And that, perhaps more than any sitcom ending, is the real story. What do you think about Leah's and Kevin's friendship? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the next video on your screen, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.